of the choice of human, the nature,
生存、
survival,
进化为智慧，
finally evolving into the wisdom of our people.
潜藏于不可胜言处。寻迹。我们看见它，看见时间，
By tracking all the traces, this is what we see. We could see the time,
看见交融，
so we could see the interaction and the integration.
看见精神，
Spirit,
看见幸福，
happiness,
看见温暖，
warmth,
看见生活。
and also we could see life.
看见艺术， 看见坚持，
And also we're able to see the perseverance.
看见历史，也看见希望。
The history and the hope. Dear viewers from CCTV and CGTN, I'm Basanamu from CMG. So right now I'm standing on the first floor of the Tibet Museum. So today actually is the first day for the newly renovated Tibet Museum. And also we are able to bring you the special live coverage on the Tibet Museum. This is presented by the New Media Center. And also this is also to demonstrate the 70th anniversary of the democratic reform of Tibet. And starting from today, we also roll out a number of documentaries and series of programs to capture the civilization and also the spirit of Tibet. And also we have a lot of short video to talk about the democratic reform in Tibet. So for the large screen, you could see for the design of the screen is quite special. And actually the whole design of the museum is quite special. So first you could see a glass roof. So for the height of this museum is about 36 meters. And we have over 1,100 windows. So we are able to absorb sunlight even in winter. So when we are installing all of these windows, it is in the angle of 75 degrees. And in winter, we still can enjoy a good sunlight from the museum. So now you could see it's quite bright inside of the museum. So for these like 72 windows, also we are using special technology to making sure we could have a good ventilation inside of the museum. So this actually carry forward the fine tradition of the architecture of Tibetan style. So today we will be visiting several exhibitions. And first, I will take you to one of the exhibitions on Tibetan folk culture, which is called People Closest to the Sun. So actually we have two floors. And so first we are going to visit the first floor. And also I'm glad to be joined by a researcher from the Tibet Museum. So she is one of the curators for the people closest to the sun exhibition. Good morning, everyone. So for this exhibition, I'm one of the planner for this exhibition. So Dawa will help us to understand more about the folk culture in Tibet. So for this area, it takes up the place of 2,700 square meters. Actually, for the exhibition on the first floor, we have 4 sections. For the 4 sections, they are the customs for the life and living, the production, and the culture for the celebration and light of the age. So for the first section, it is about the customs of living. So in this area, we are showing you a lot of eating habits for Tibetans. So first, I would like to show you the oil tea. And this is very popular tea in Tibet. So here you can also see the barrel that are being used to make the oil. So for the tea leaves, they're actually coming into Tibet from mainland. And so when you are drinking the oil tea, it could actually help you to ease some of the symptoms when you are visiting the plateau. So when you first came to Tibet, maybe at the beginning, you're not used to the taste of the oil tea. But as time passes, you will get used to this flavor. And also we have some bowls to help you to drink the oil tea. So you could see the textile is quite different. We have some like wooden bowls and teacups. So for this one, it is with the wooden pattern. However, this one is made from ceramics. There are many wooden bowls in Tibet, and also we try to capture the bowls and the teapot into the lyrics of some popular songs in Tibet. For some people, they compare the teacups to their loved ones, just like they want to take a teacup wherever they go. So that's how people appreciate the teacups, because they think wherever they go, they have to bring a teacup with them. So for Tibet, actually, it has a very vast land. For people living here, they always bring the teacups and also a knife. So in this area, it's about the culture for wine. So in Tibet, the most famous one is the white spirit and also the Qingke spirit. Also, that is a barley flower wine. And also we have different varieties of the drinking vessels. So in different places, for example, if you are in the farming side or you are in the husbandry side, the drinking vessel also quite different. So for example, these pieces, they are commonly used in the farming places. So especially in big celebration days, people would like to bring these drinking vessels with them. It is quite convenient, especially on a grand celebration, for example, during a wedding, when you are receiving a huge number of guests. So we would like to use this kind of drinking vessel set to welcome the guests. So when the customers come, and then you could put the vessels in front of them. So they will have a permanent vessel in front of them. And then we will have a drinking pot to pour the wines into the vessels. So for this set, it's suitable for a large crowd. And so for this set of the drinking vessels, they are quite popular in several places in Tibet. So we just talk about the barley flower wine and also the drinking vessels. It reminds me of a lot of popular songs in Tibet. And I believe all of these wines taste excellent. So I think there's a lot of virtues associated with the drinking behavior. So what about this one? So just now we talked about the beverage, the drinking. Now we would like to talk about the food. So in Tibet, we really love to eat what we call the zamba, and it is a roasted qingke barley flour. So we have different textures and also the ingredient to make all of these different bowls. So for some of them are made from lacquer and some of them are made of wood. And this one is very popular. This is what we call the leather bag for zamba. So in order to give you a closer look on this one, so I would like to show you a sample. So for zamba, actually it is quite popular in Tibet. There are 3 ways to eat the zamba. So first you could eat it raw, so with a little spoon, or you could make it into a porridge. And the kids really love this kind of porridge made from zamba. And if we have a great number of people sharing zamba, and then we would like to use this leather bag to make zamba, and also we will mix with different ingredients or spices, and we will divide zamba into different pieces and then share all of this food to different people. So for the leather bag, so each time when we are trying to make the zamba balls, and we are able to serve a great number of people, and also it is quite easy for us to carry this leather bag with us. So especially during Spring Festival, we would like to bring these leather bags with us. And also right now, this is still a tradition in Tibet. This is a common way for people to share their food. So zamba is actually the most commonly staple in Tibet. And of course, we also eat wheat, and we would like to turn them into flour to make other staple food. So this one is a wooden noodle machine. This is also originated from a small village from Tibet. For the whole village, they would like to use this equipment to make flour. Actually, this machine is shared by the whole village. So for these sessions, I think the foodies will love this place. You could see different kinds of snacks. So just now I talked about for Tibetans, they only eat a few food. However, we are able to see the food coming from different parts of China. And also for all of these food, they are named after Mandarin. For example, cabbage. Also, the sound, the pronunciation is the same as Mandarin. We just talked about food. So what comes next? Now we are going to talk about the costumes and also the clothes. So my question is, what are some of the features for the costumes we have displayed in this exhibition? For the display of the costumes, we will be divided into different districts. And this time, we remove this restriction. Because for the costumes, they always change in accordance with different seasons. And we actually divided the clothes into by different functions. For example, this is the costume for women, and it is quite colorful, and also there are a lot of decorations. Now you could see the ornaments and also some of the decorations on the waist. This is the first time that we display such a complete set of the costume. is quite glamorous because you could see all the jewelries. That's quite dazzling. And in this area, it is a ornaments area. And also we have a mural on top of all of these decorations. Now you could see in the celebrative activity, we have people wearing different kinds of costumes. And for some of these pieces, relics, actually you could find it in the mural. You could see some of the earrings and also the brooch, etc. So also in order to have our customers better understand all of these costumes, actually we put some samples nearby some of these exhibits. So actually people can touch all of these clothes. And you could see this one is made from the sheepskin, and also some of them are made from the brocade and the silk, etc. Now we move to another place. We are showing the costume for the women in Lhasa. And if these people are coming from different ethnic groups, and they may wear different kinds of costumes. And yes, it is quite dazzling, and also it is quite exquisite in the design. First, I'd like to show you some of the hats and also some of the brooch. And if you just look at some of these decorations, it could actually decide the rankings and the social status for different people. It is quite exquisite, especially when you are comparing these clothes with other pasturing area, and you could see for all of these clothes they're quite special. I already see some of the costumes coming from my hometown. So for different prefectures, they may have different kinds of features. And for example, for different counties and villages, they have their own features. And also we have to consider some of the seasonal factors. So for example, this one, it coming from an area that always have a very cold weather, and that's why you could see we have 2 layers of apron that can keep you warm, especially in the windy days. So this is quite practical for all of these costumes. And also for this one, this apron is also very important. So apron is actually quite commonly seen in Tibet, especially for women from different prefectures. They would like to wear different kinds of apron. And in Lhasa, if a woman, she's married, and then she will wear this kind of apron. If she's single, she will not wear this kind of apron. This is the difference. However, the customs or the tradition will change in different places. So most of the apron are actually made from textile, and also you could see a very exquisite embroidery on this apron. And actually for this one, it's made from an inheritor. So when we are coming to visit that woman, and she is quite interested in our program, and she would like to make a very exquisite and beautiful apron and donate that apron to the museum. But unfortunately, she passed away a few years ago, and her son continued her work and finished this beautiful apron. So for this apron, we actually demonstrate the spirit of 2 people, and also they are quite dedicated to pass down the tradition of Tibet. So now you could see for this apron, the embroidery actually embodies the efforts from 2 generations. So for these clothes, it's also coming from the pasturing area. And also it has a special technique. So now you could see it is made from the hair felt. So we are trying to collect the wools and also trying to roll the wools on the surface of the clothes. That's how we make this costume. And especially when you are staying in the pasturing area, and they will always say, if you have this cape on you, you will not suffer from a heat stroke during summer, and then it will keep you warm during winter. So also for the shoes, I realized that each one of them is quite different. So I think maybe there's also some styling behaviors. Yes, for the boots and also the shoes, we're not separating the direction of the two boots or the shoes, and also we have to choose a special material to make the shoes. And it is easy to repair and fix, so it is quite endurable. So for all of these costumes, they not only look beautiful, but also all of these costumes can keep you warm. And also in Tibet, all of these decorations and ornaments, they're also quite practical, especially for nomads. Because we all know for the nomads, they always travel to different places. So for the decorations, it's not just for the beauty, but also these have some practical functions. So in this place, we divide the clothes by the different functions. Now we are entering into the forest district. So just now we talk about the food and the costumes, and in this unit, this section, we are talking about the communities or the residential areas. So what is this one? So here you could see we are showing a video. So this is a special activity conducted by the Tibetans. This is the way how people build houses. And also when people they're building the houses, they would like to sing together, and also they're trying to put the tiles on the buildings. So maybe our special guest would like to give us a demonstration. So she will show some moves on how to build the houses. So we would like to dance along together with the song. So yes, actually for people there, when they are working, they would like to sing, and also they will try to work together. Because when you are building the houses, it takes a really long time. It's quite dull, and that's why for Tibetans, when they are working, they would like to sing along. So this is the structure of some of the houses. Also, you could see some of the carvings on the doors. Now we are putting on some of the models, so you may have a better understanding of the structure of the doors. And also we have a traditional drilling machine in front of you. And this is another model. This is a very typical house in the eastern side of Tibet. So for example, this house, you could see we have 3 floors. So for the first floor, they will try to raise some of the animals. That's why you don't see any windows. On the second floor, people are living on the second floor, and also we could store some of the grains on the third floor. And also they would like to build these houses in a very beautiful environment. So this is another typical house in the farming area. So in general, we have 2 floors and also a very small courtyard. So during the sparing time for the local residents, they would like to do on handicrafts in the courtyard. So for this house, is actually combined with the stones and the wood structures. And if you just look at the appearance, it looks like a bungalow. And also we are trying our best to do the cement of this bungalow. And inside of the house, you could see the tables. And also we are putting on special structures and to make sure that we can keep the tea warm. So for the whole courtyard, so actually when we have some visitors, they could have some experience. So we always say for Tibet is the city of light. And actually you could play games with the friends. And also you could take some photos here or enjoy some time with your friends. So in this area, it is also the rural areas of Tibet. And I think in this area you could see the structure, the forest structure. And in the forest, it has a long season of raining. So you could see the structure of the house is quite different compared to the rural areas. As I said, in the forest areas, always have a heavy rain. That's why we have to build a roof like this. And also it is quite moisture on the ground. That's why they always have to make sure that the house is built upon the earth. They could raise some of the animals, and people are living on the second floor. So there were many mice and also the snakes in the forest areas. In order to prevent all of these animals entering into the house, they have to build special steps. This is quite clever. So now we have moved to another place. What is this one? So just have a guess. What are inside of these good-shaped objects? Actually, this is a wine vessel. I believe most of you could get the answers right. Because in the forest area, many people would like to drink wine. So actually you could see for most of the wine, they actually store in the fruit they're collected in the forest. And also we are seeing some of the bamboo-shaped objects. For these objects, they're quite different from the real bamboo because it is quite elastic and also it is shining. And also when we are building these kind of houses, we have to choose suitable bamboos. And also paying a lot of attention to fishing, and that's why they also create a lot of objects and relates to the seasonal changes. So for example, for local people, they would like to make cape. So it could also be served as a raincoat. And also on the roof, they also put some big leaves on the rooftop. And this will also help them to prevent from the raining season. So we just talked about the forest area and the rural areas. Now we are moving to the husbandry places. So we could see a lot of tents. As we just said, there were many nomads living in the pasturing area. So that's why they built up this temporary shelter. So for these kind of shelters, they are quite practical, and you could actually bring the tent everywhere you go. And also, we are paying a lot of attention to the entrance. The entrance shall be face east. And also, we have two types of tents. One is what we call the dark tent, and the other one is the bright tent. So in the dark tent, we will store some of the kitchenware, and also women would rest in the dark tent. And on the right side, men would stay in this area. So well, there were a lot of experimental areas for this exhibition. So for the tent, it is also waterproof. Also on the roof, you could see a large piece of cloth. So for this cloth, it could also help to absorb the light in daytime when it is raining, and also it could help to prevent the rain coming into the tent. Now we are coming to the game section. So we always play this game. So we could just like have a seat and try to play the game. So just take a look at this one. It's just like a dice. So on different front, it will show a different color. So for each side, it will present a different animal. So this is actually a joint from a sheep. However, for different sides, it will show different image. If it is your first time to get to know this game, maybe it takes some time. But no worries, you could read the instructions and then you could have a try. Thank you very much for our special guest, because she just gave us a lot of introduction about the folk culture in Tibet. I believe now you have a general understanding of Tibet. Now I would like to turn over to my colleague Xu Siqian. See you next time.